I wonder why.
Wonder.
I wonder the possibilities. This is wonderful!
This is wonderful.
What a wonderful day.
Wonderful day. Welcome to Wonderful Stories.
Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. Today's story is called A Berry Feeling Blue.
Don't forget to share the story with a friend.
It's time for a story.
Let's go. It was another blistering hot, sunny summer day. Birds could be heard off in the distance, and a spattering of pure white clouds here and there gave moments of relief to anyone and anything that found themselves resting in their shade. Directly below these fluffy clouds was a quaint farm, nestled in between rolling hills and tall trees. Rows upon rows of smaller trees and bushes were perfectly placed, one after another. Resting at the tip of a long, windy branch, which stretched into a nearby tree, was a berry with different shades of color, bumps all over, and growing bigger every day. But this berry wondered why it was different than the other berries growing all around. It noticed all the other berries were a different size. They were very smooth and a rich dark blue color. They grew very close together and always looked so happy. This puzzled the berry because they were all getting the same amount of water, the same gardener trimmed their branches, and the same soil was at their feet, providing them the same nutrients. Day after day, the berry continued to grow in the sun, rest in the shade, and slept all night long. Little did this berry know, but in the morning, it would discover something very special. A rooster could be heard a little earlier than normal that morning, off in the distance as the tractors began starting up for a long day of work. It was another warm day, but today there was more wind in the air, and it was refreshing as it whistled through the trees. This bumpy and fairly plump berry felt it was getting harder to hold on to its branch each day that it grew. A happy, long-haired, tall, and slim gardener was not too far off in the distance, slowly making his way closer and closer, whistling a soft, chipper tune. Before long, and lost in thought, this perfectly ripe berry found itself being plucked ever so gently, gaining a view it had never seen before. It saw how high off the ground it was, and as it fell into a palm of the gardener's strong hand, it witnessed the full span of the sky it had only seen in part through the branches until now. As it was turned upside down and lowered ever so gently, it noticed below were two giant crates. One was full of berries, like the ones it grew all around, smaller, smooth, and a perfect blue color. The crate it found itself being lowered into was much different, though. It was filled to the brim with larger berries, like itself, with different shades of color and bumps all over them. This little berry looked up to the branches of the trees on each side and the clear sky as the crate was pulled along by one of the tractors, rather loudly, but not too fast, down the aisle. As it bounced down the aisle, to its left it noticed trees reaching in all directions and growing bumpy multicolor berries. Glancing right, it noticed the trees all had clusters of smooth, dark blue berries. It noticed every so often a branch would reach across the aisle into the other trees and found itself smiling at that moment, realizing it had grown from a tree with similar berries, but its branch was just stretching across the aisle. Arriving at the barn and making an abrupt halt, the tractor's engine pitter-pattered, then shut off. A small crowd of people began shuffling around, moving the crates as they were sorted and loaded into a giant machine with wings larger than the barn itself. What an experience. What a day of adventure, and what a relief, because earlier it had wondered if it would be able to hold on to its long, windy branch any longer. Now, here it was, nestled in a crate with berries all bold, bright, and plump, taking off into the sky on a machine that roared into flight. As the plane shifted right, turning towards its destination, the berry could see out a small window, and it was a beautiful sight. Rows and rows and rows of different trees growing all kinds of different berries for all kinds of different purposes. The berry nestled in and rested, thinking how earlier that day, when it could only see clumps of berries different from itself and a portion of the sky through some branches, was now able to witness how diverse the world was, and how even when it felt different, or when it didn't know more than what was right in front of it, the reality was it was part of something much bigger, and things were much more than they felt or appeared. It had a purpose even when it didn't know it. It wanted to scream for all the other berries to hear. There is more going on than you can see. You are important and special. And although you might feel different, you are not alone. As the berry nodded off for a peaceful plane ride, it thought, this would be a neat story to tell. Today's story, A Berry Feeling Blue, was written, read, and produced by Eric Anthony. Don't forget to check out wonderfulstories.com or join us on Instagram or Facebook.
Thanks for joining us. Please give us a 5-star and a review.
Be on the lookout for more coming soon. Until next time.
Be full of wonder. Be wonderful.